Welcome to another Guardians of Wiltshire video. I'm your host Dewey, and this week on Sunforthal Legions, Helm's Guard. During the reign of Helm Hammerhand, the Rohirrim were at constant war with the Dunlendings. Both sides engaged in a power struggle over who was the rightful ruler of the lands. The Dunlendings believed it was they, and they alone, who had the rights to the lands of Rohan, whilst the Rohirrim were fighting in defence of their homes and people who dwelt there, since Eorl the Young was granted these lands many decades before. Against the might of the Dunlendings, Helm Hammerhand would lead his followers into battle from the front, the king's impressive stature and incredible strength rallying his followers around him. Yet even the skill and leadership of Helm Hammerhand could not stem the Dunlending hordes, and his forces were pushed back to the mountain fortress of the Suthburg. Within the fortress walls, Helm Hammerhand gathered together his most skilled and hardy warriors and prepared to fight for his kingdom. Blowing the great horn that stood in the fortress, Helm and his Rohirrim rode out against their forces. At his side were the warriors and riders of Rohan, and as many royal guard as could be mustered. The sheer force of the Rohirrim that rode out against the Dunlendings saw them win the first of many more battles against them. Each time that Helm Hammerhand rode out, the great horn was blown, and an act that earned the keeps the name of the Hornburg, and eventually saw the fortress renamed as Helm's Deep. Such was the ferocity that Helm and his guard fought with, that there were few fighting forces in Middle-earth that could stand against them when the horn sounded and Helm Hammerhand rode out. So we'll dive straight into the army composition, and it isn't much. So you have Helm Hammerhand himself, who can take a horse. You have a captain of Rohan, who can take a horse, a bow, heavy armour, shield and throwing spears, or a king's huntsman. And then your warriors. You've got a warrior of Rohan, who can take a warhorn, a banner, throwing spears, bow and a shield. A rider of Rohan, who can take a warhorn, banner, throwing spears. Rohan Royal Guard, who can take a banner, horse, throwing spears. Or Rohan Outrider, who can take a horse. So, kind of standard Rohan infantry and riders, along with unnamed heroes. Obviously excluding Helm. So, additional rules. A Helm's Guard force must include Helm Hammerhand. Helm Hammerhand is always the army leader. Makes sense. He is the list. So, special rules. Defend the Suthburg. As the Rohirrim fight to defend the mountain fortress, they are forced to use their weapons in ways they would not normally do so. Friendly Rohan infantry models armed with throwing spears may use them as standard spears in addition to their normal use. However, if a model uses their spear as a throwing spear in a turn, they cannot use it as a standard spear in the same turn. Got my words mixed up. So this means your foot troops can finally spear support each other. Really handy, and kind of makes sense. It gives you a bit more of a chance. And then King of Rohan. Helm has proven himself to be a mighty warrior, one who has fought off countless enemies and won many battles, yet the wars with the Dunlendings require him to better himself once more. Helm Hammerhand gains the Mighty Hero special rule, so that's a 3 point of might each turn. Excellent. Anyway, additionally, Helm Hammerhand may declare a heroic combat each turn without spending might. This is so cool. This makes him an absolute beatstick. He's a 3 attack, strength 5, burly with a 200 weapon anyway. So the ability to call 3 heroic combats, amazing. And then Mighty Hero as well, meaning if you botch your dice a little bit, you can bump yourself. Or you can have a free strike instead of a heroic combat, free heroic move, all that kind of thing is excellent. This is what makes the list as good as it is. So, designer's notes. This legendary legion represents the armies of Helm Hammerhand that fought against the Dunlendings. Helm Hammerhand is key to the force. Without him, the force may yet falter. Helm is an exceptional leader, and this legendary legion helps to show the legend of Rohan in his most glorious light. Not only can Helm now declare a heroic combat for free each turn, but he also gains Mighty Hero special rule. That is potentially 2 free might points a turn. This legendary legion doesn't make Riders of Rohan exempt from counting towards your bow limit, so some infantry models will likely be required when building this force. Warriors of Rohan often suffer from the lack of spear supports in the army, and so the Defender Sithberg special rule allows them to use their throwing spears as normal spears, so long as they didn't use them in the turn of the shoot phase, of course, which has some desperately needed spear support to the Rohan infantry. So yeah, covered the bits and pieces. Like I said, the interesting bit in the Dunlendings notes is Riders of Rohan do count towards your bow limit, so you've got to be a bit wary. So you can have an all-mounted force, but you're going to have a lot of Royal Guard in there if you do. So we'll come back with the hierarchy of heroes next. Hierarchy of heroes. We'll go as normal with your 450, 600 and 750 points. So we'll start at 450 points. You're going to have Helm Hammerhand and a Captain of Rohan, or a King's Huntsman. It's your preference. Helm Hammerhand is a hero of legend. King's Huntsmen are minor heroes, if I remember correctly, and obviously your captains are fortitude heroes. So this means you could get a King's Huntsman and some guys, and then have Helm Hammerhand's warband packed out. Or you could do it the other way and have a bit more of an even split. If you move on to 600 points, you've got Helm Hammerhand. Then I would take a Rohan Captain for the Heroic March, and it means you can Heroic Move and not use Helm's free might point. And then a King's Huntsman. I think that's all the heroes you need for 600 points. After that, you're just going to pack it out with warriors. So at 750 points, I'll go Helm Hammerhand, Rohan Captain, a King's Huntsman, and then a Rohan Captain as well. Again, I think the model points works out, as you'll see in the army lists later, that you don't need any additional heroes apart from those. So talking about army lists, we'll come straight into it next. So, your army lists. Again, like the hierarchy of heroes, we'll go 450, 600 and 750 points. And we'll just dive straight in at 450 points. So you've got warband 1 is Helm Hammerhand, and with his horse. Always give him a horse, it is really, really useful. 4 warriors of Rohan with shield, 4 warriors of Rohan with shield and throwing spear, 2 royal guard with a horse and throwing spear, 1 royal guard with a horse, banner and throwing spear. And then warband 2 is a Rohan Captain with heavy armour and a shield, 5 Rohan warriors with shield, and 5 warriors of Rohan with shield and throwing spear. So this gives you 21 models. Then you've got 4 cavalry, that's including heroes. You've got a banner in there. You've got 12 throwing spears, 5 might with mighty hero. You have heroic strike, you have heroic march, you have heroic defense on your leader, which is actually quite handy. You've got obviously the 3 heroic combat from Helm in this legion. Helm gives the +1 fight value to Rohan warriors within 6 inches, and then you've got 3 bodyguarded warriors. So I think this list is pretty good. A bit of everything. The only thing it lacks is a bit of bows, and it's not very high numbers. But you do have Helm as an absolute beat stick, as I said earlier, to instantly hit combat and call heroic combats and the like. So we'll move on to 600 points. So warband 1, Helm Hammerhand with his horse, again. 4 warriors of Rohan with shield, 4 warriors of Rohan with shield and throwing spear, 2 royal guard with horse and throwing spear, 2 riders of Rohan and a rider of Rohan with a banner. Warband 2 is a Rohan Captain with a horse and a shield, 2 warriors of Rohan with shield, 5 warriors of Rohan with shield and throwing spear, and 2 outriders with horses. Warband 3, you've got King's Huntsman, 4 warriors of Rohan with bow, and 2 outriders who are on foot. So this has 34 models, 9 cavalry, including the 2 heroes. You've got a banner, you have 11 bows, a long bow from the King's Huntsman, and 11 throwing spears. 7 might with mighty hero. The King's Huntsman can also regain might. You have Heroic Strike, Heroic March, Heroic Defense on your leader, and 3 Heroic Combats. You have the +1 fight value within 6 inches of Helm. You've only got 2 bodyguarded warriors this time, and you've got 4 outriders for grabbing objectives. So my thoughts behind these guys were, they automatically pass their courage test, they are included within the stand fast regardless of distance. So having 2 on foot means they can go back and collect any objectives behind you, and having 2 on horse means they can go and get anything in front of you. And their additional 3+ shoot value is also quite handy. So moving on to 750 points. This is just more of an expansion. So Warband 1 is Helm Hammerhand with a horse, 3 Royal Guard with horse and throwing spear, 3 Riders of Rohan, 1 Rider of Rohan with banner and throwing spear. Warband 2 is a Rohan captain with horse, heavy armour and a shield. He's got 5 Warriors of Rohan on foot with shield, 5 Warriors of Rohan on foot with shield and throwing spear, and 2 Outriders with horses. Warband 3 is a Rohan captain with heavy armour and shield, 6 Warriors of Rohan with shield, 6 Warriors of Rohan with shield and throwing spear, and 1 Warrior of Rohan with a banner, shield and throwing spear. And then Warband 4 is a King's Huntsman, 4 Warriors of Rohan with bow, and 2 Outriders on foot. So this has 41 models, 11 cavalry, 2 banners, 12 bows, 1 longbow and 15 throwing spears. You've got 9 might with Mighty Hero, and the King's Huntsman can regain might. Heroic Strike, 2 Heroic Marches, Heroic Defense and leader, 3 Heroic Combat, as per all the other lists. +1 fight within 6 inches of Helm. For your Rohan Warriors, you have... is it Rohan Warriors? Yeah, Rohan Warriors. You have 3 Bodyguard Warriors and 4 Outriders for grabbing objectives again. So the way I've split this off is have a Cavalry Warband, essentially, with Helm Hammerhand. So if you get caught up in Maelstrom of Battle, etc., his free heroic might, his free might per turn with Mighty Hero can mean you can just heroic move away and get out of there if you need to. He also has a banner in his warband, because I felt that if you're having a cavalry warband, you need that banner reroll if you really want, if you could get caught out, and especially Helm loves a banner reroll. 3 attacks base with a 3 point of might, and 4 attacks if you're charging, and that banner reroll means he shouldn't be losing combats. And then Warband 2 has a captain on horse with 2 outriders on horse, so if needed they can go with Helm's warband to provide some extra support. And then you've got a battle line of warriors on foot with the captain, and the King's Huntsman can go over there and help as well. I think this list is pretty cool. I think its peak performance is probably around the 500-600 point mark, maybe 650 to get some more models in there. I'd be interested to see how the 750 point list does against other armies. I'm not entirely sure. But other than that, I think it's cool. Everyone's been calling for Helm Hammerhand for a long time, and to finally get a model, which is amazing by the way, and a legendary legion that shows him at his full ability is really, really cool. So if you've enjoyed this video, please comment, like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.